Good morning. This is the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing, Monday, July 11th. On the impact map, quite a bit going on. In the yellow, we have isolated thunderstorms, a mix of wet and dry, wetter, a bit wetter further to the east and a bit drier as head further to the west. We could see an isolated strike or two up towards the Rubies as well on some of our computer models. Also notice the increasing heat temperatures 10 degrees above normal in the red building west and north today and covering the entire area on Tuesday and still most of the area on Wednesday, although cooler temperatures with higher humidity as the thunderstorms get more monsoonal depth and moisture and get wetter across the eastern half of Utah. Notice a critically dry fuel area in the dashed lines. Looking at the last 24 hours, some isolated precipitation in the south. Had a bit of lightning down here. You can see new fire starts in the red, existing fires in the yellow. We do have several large fires ongoing in those open circles. Looking at observed precipitation the past 7 days, most of it confined to the eastern half of Utah. Some heavier amounts in green, half inch or greater, but by and large it has been bone dry for most of the Great Basin. You can see the areas in solid red, near 0% of normal for the week, and our fuels have responded to that. You can see the area in red of 5% or lower 100-hour fuels, as low as it gets, covering the entire western half of Utah, much of Nevada, south of the I-80 corridor, and even some little bits of southern Idaho as well. The satellite imagery shows a big dome of high pressure. The Four Corners high is shifted. The center is a bit more over the Oklahoma Panhandle, but it's that clockwise flow. And clockwise is this way, follow the arrow, and it'll start pushing some of this monsoonal moisture back northwards across Utah and eventually Nevada over the next couple of days. So for this afternoon, we see that on the map. So that monsoonal moisture does start creeping back into our southern, south central Utah areas. We have issued high risk for some of the higher terrain of southern Utah. The eastern part of this area probably might be on the wetter side, but as you get towards the central and western areas, fuels are definitely drier. Lightning has a better chance of holding, igniting, and starting large fires. You can see the humidity starting to come up a little bit here on the right-hand side, 15%, but still drier as you head to the west. But more importantly, on the left, you can see the coverage of isolated thunderstorms, and these grayish shades indicate basically just a few hundredths of an inch, so on the lighter side. It's only these little blips of darker green where we could see a wetting rain of a tenth of an inch or more up in Uintas as well, but definitely worried about ignitions today. Maybe a lone cell, a strike or two out in the Rubies, but not widespread enough for a high risk delineation yet. Now the activity expands. You see the areas in green expanding across Utah into parts of northeastern Nevada. So we have issued high risk again for a larger area of Utah and into parts of eastern Nevada as well. You can see the precipitation on the left, a bit thicker and probably going towards wetter in some of the higher terrain areas of central and eastern, or at least southeastern Utah. But drier strikes in these gray shades as you head towards the Ely and Elko area, where humidities there are closer to 10%, starting to come up across eastern Utah. Then that moisture rotates back to the east as this trough low pressure moves into the Pacific Northwest. So steering flow becomes a bit more southwesterly. So we think the storms that are driest could affect these areas here across northern Utah. There'll be definitely lots of thunderstorm coverage further south and east, but those will start trending wetter. You can see that here. Much wetter storms here in the greenish and blue shades, a tenth of an inch to even locally a half inch or more in some of these bluish shades, but it's these grayish areas that offer just a few hundredths of an inch of precipitation. So that is our concern at the moment. 3-day precipitation totals. Looking down the road for Thursday, still lingering monsoonal showers and wet thunderstorms across eastern and southern Utah, dry and breezy across northern Nevada and Idaho. So have to watch for holdovers and some breezes kicking them up Thursday afternoon. You can see the 7-day where we're dry and where we are starting to moderate a little bit, turning green here across southeast Utah. And then more monsoonal activity on Friday again. And then that monsoonal moisture really deepens on Saturday. You can see how many of our PSAs here have shifted into the green, but it's going to be a fine line. You go along and west of the I-15 corridor, and things stay pretty dry. So again, we'll worry about holdovers and the same pattern again on Sunday. 7-day total precipitation, and some of these amounts could be even locally heavier. The 8 to 14 day, temperature-wise, above normal most areas, but the big telling story here on the right, the above normal precipitation chances. A monsoon will be in full swing as we go through the July 18th to the 24th period. This concludes our briefing. Have a great day.